Hi, good morning.
Hello, everyone. So, reminder again, please add the name of your company or startup into your Zoom email, and please mute yourself so only the panelists and the people presenting will have the opportunity to speak. Everyone else, if you have questions, we're welcoming any question via the chat option. And there will be a Q&A afterwards, and we'll address each of them one by one. We'll try to close this in an hour and 30 minutes maximum. So whatever question we didn't answer, I do invite everyone to reach out over email, but that will be mentioned in a bit. So for those people who have just joined, the webinar is being recorded, be available for everyone. So yeah, we can start. So welcome. My name is Alexander. I'm a project manager at F6S. I've been working with the open calls for over 5 years and dealing with startups with over 5 or 6 incubators. Today, I'll be leading and moderating this session, and I'll be giving an introduction to Reach Incubator as its current coordinator. So let's move on. Agenda. So today, as I said, over an hour and 30 minutes, we will cover everything about what you need to know about the Reach Incubator. Our open call will be covered by Leire from Zabala, our Spanish partner dealing with the open calls. David from Genubila will present to you our toolbox, the softwares available for all the selected startups. Maria from EDP, as one of our data providers, will cover their challenge and what it is like to work with them and what you can expect if you get selected under their challenge. Yanis from RTU will cover the theme run by their organization and their Digital Innovation Hub. And similarly to EDP, will cover what's it like addressing their challenge and what can be expected. Afterwards, the Q&A will follow. So in the meantime, if you do have specific questions related to each of these panelists and what they're presenting, please put your question in the chat. We will most likely answer it at the end, so we can group them all together and have a smooth delivery of all of the answers. So yeah, should have been presenting. So let's start. So the story about Reach. In the really recent years, both the European Commission and the EU ecosystem has been pushing towards a greater data access, data sharing, security, the use of AI and ML, and establishment of this environment of trust for all the stakeholders. And support for data-driven innovation experiments with the accent of secure and privacy-aware analytic solutions. So given this context, what is a data value chain? So it represents a multi-stakeholder data workflow where by applying data analytics, both data and the solution providers reciprocally benefit through joint exploitation models. So a little bit about Reach. So it's an innovation action project funded by the EU that has started in September 2020. And it's a second generation big data incubator that follows on successful efforts of the EDI program that has closed earlier last year. So we're basically building on the previous methodologies and approach to deliver a new incubation for data corporations, digital innovation hubs, and startups to work together to develop a DVC DVC solutions based on industrial and private data. Over the period of 3 years, we will select and incubate and coach over 100 data-driven startups through 3 incubation programs that last 11 months each. To do so, we'll distribute 3.5 million euros in equity-free funding to SMEs, and that is up to 120,000 euros per organization. So the consortium behind the incubator is the following. So we have CEA, the French Institute of Technology, Zabala, a Spanish SME that supports innovation and management of research and development products. F-Success, the largest community of startups in the world through which you apply to reach Incubator, as well as other incubators as well. University of Deusto, another Spanish entity and university that fosters innovation. ESTBAN, or Estonian Business Angels Network from Estonia. ITI, and a leading institution of Spain focused on informatics, telematics, and telecommunication. CERT, a largest researcher center in Greece. Genubila, a data privacy solution designer and independent software vendor. Brightpixel, a venture builder and a company builder studio from Portugal. And the Systematic Paris region, it's a cluster of innovation technology companies in France. So together we are working to deliver this program throughout the 3.5 years. And we're really looking forward to build our network and work with all of you. So what are the benefits for startups and SMEs? So in addition to the 120,000, well, up to 120,000 euros in non-equity free funding, so in equity free funding, access to large corporations and their data sets, Reach Toolbox, which you will hear more about in a little bit, access to private investment, access to digital and business skills through various webinars, mentorships, and trainings, big data infrastructure, and overall visibility of your startup. So there are 3 ways to apply, which something that later we'll talk in the next application in the next session. But in general, theme-driven is led by Digital Innovation Hubs of Europe. Ready-made are challenges made by data providers and corporates that have joined the program, and the free choice is bringing your own challenge provider or data provider and their own data sets, and together applying for the program. But more about this in the next panel. So the timeline. Once we conclude the open call, which is here, we will take 1 month to go over your very thorough and detailed applications with 4 external experts covering the evaluation, after which we'll select 30 teams for 2 months to develop their idea further from the initial concept into something more, and present at a datathon in Paris. For this stage, 30 teams will receive 5,000 euro each. And depending on the pitching at the end of this phase, we will select 10 teams who will join the experiment stage, which is basically piloting, product testing, product development in collaboration with the data providers of their choice. Over the 4 months period, 80K will be delivered in 2 phases based on the delivery of the product. So we'll hear more about this, but it's we don't follow your invoices, we don't follow your costs, but we follow what you do and the KPIs that we agree together. The following, sorry, my mouse disappeared for some reason. At the end of this stage, there will be another event where the 10 teams will pitch and fight for entering the next phase. The next phase of Evolve. Coincidentally, there's this expose phase that lasts in parallel with experiment, that all the experiment phase startups partake in, where the focus is on fundraising, while the 5 startups that continue to the Evolve phase, they will focus on launching their product in the market and additional investment seeking. These 5 startups will receive 15,000, while these will only focus on the fundraising and without the further investment. So 4 phases, with the final event this year was at Slush, will happen where the best startup will be awarded 20,000 euros. So as you see, it's cascade funding approach with the funnel approach, special delivery of webinars, services, tools for each of these programs, with an intensive program that allows you to scale an idea into something that is market driven and tangible at the end. So these are the data providers that are currently in the program. As you can see, there are several ranging from different countries, as well as the digital innovation hubs who offer very region and specific theme-driven challenges for you to check out. So when it comes to the sectors of these themes and challenges, so we're currently covering manufacturing and industry, social services, healthcare and insurance, tourism and entertainment, digital marketing, finance, energy, agriculture, media, retail, and circular economy. However, these are the challenges and themes coming from our data providers and our digital innovation hubs. And if you remember at the beginning, there's a way for you to bring your own data provider. So we do accept startup targeting industries outside of these. So important dates. It's important to know that the 22nd of February is the deadline. I do recommend not waiting for the last minute to apply. It's definitely less stressful. Yeah. So in the meantime, what you can do is you can stay in tune with what we do. We frequently release newsletters where we update on the articles, the information required, the ongoings of the project. So I do recommend quickly sign up and being in tune with what's going on in our program. So I'll give it 10 seconds more. Cool. So moving on. Round 1 recap. It was super fun, super intensive. 30 startups have joined. No, 32 startups have joined in the first round. Where first half was digitally implemented, with the datathon being held online. However, as we saw the opportunity, we met up in Bilbao in Spain all together for a 2-day event where simply we saw a really nice competition, people pitching, networking, and really beautiful faces behind these masks, finally getting together, and it was wonderful. The result was Oscar Marco from Cropped winning the Moomin, the Finnish Moomin, and the 20,000 euros in Slush. It was really interesting to see the 5 startups pitch and mingle with all the investors at Slush. So a lot of meetings definitely came out of Slush with investors. So as you can see, we start with an idea, but we end with an investor and an opportunity to take this further. So what is our final aim? to demonstrate that data silos can be broken by enabling a multi-stakeholder, cross-sectoral collaboration to boost data-fueled sustainable solution. As you see, this is a little ecosystem that grows by the day. So I do kindly ask everyone for a quick photo before we continue. This is for our own reporting purposes, so we can say that we all came together for an open call. So Elena, do I need to stop sharing?
Yes, please.
Okay, one sec. All right. So please turn on your camera. It will be a second. Smile. And Elena, let us know when.
Just 1 second. Sorry. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have it. Thank you.
You got all the 82 participants, right?
I didn't. Sorry. It's just I have 4 slides of faces. So many people.
All right.
Okay,
well,
we can go on.
Thanks, everyone. Let's continue. So let me share screen. So, all right, that's a little bit about us. So we have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and F6S. Info, email, and the open call email. So if any questions are not answered today, or you have particular questions, do reach out to the open call at reachincubator.eu. Yeah. So yeah, more about this later. So later, please take it away from here.
Okay, thank you, Alex. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, so welcome everyone to this second info webinar for the second REACH open call. I'm Leira Sorena from Zavala Innovation Consulting, and I'm the call manager of the REACH project. My presentation will be focused on the application process to apply, okay? So now I'm going to switch off my camera so that we can all focus on the presentation. Okay, thank you. Okay, so in this presentation, we will be providing a bit more practical information about the open call preparation and a way to apply. The main topics that we will be covering are the submission of the proposal. We will talk about the eligibility, and then we will go through the evaluation and results communication. The submission. Alex has said, as Alex has said, yeah, the funnel approach is one of our main categories in the project. So if the small and medium enterprises or startups are selected, they will start our incubation round, which has 4 stages: explore, experiment, evolve, and expose. Now we are here in the open call phase, and this is what we are going to talk about. Okay, the first step is very simple, but very important, okay? This first step is to read the guidelines and the frequent asked questions. You can find both available in our website. It's very important because all the information about the call and the project is displayed there, okay? But please read the guidelines because we are open to solve any doubt you may have, and we also have a mailbox for answer your questions. But if you just read the guidelines, you will understand what the project is looking for, the way to apply, and it's really easy to have the answer to your questions, okay? After having read the guidelines and the frequent asked questions, the second step is to choose a track to participate. Alex has already introduced you that we have 3 ways of participation. The first one is theme driven, which is track 1. Then we have ready-made, which is track 2, and then the free choice, track 3. What we have in the first one, the consortium has collaborated with the 6 digital innovation hubs that we have by this time on board in the project to define some cross-sectorial data value chains to be tackled by these participants. Then under the ready-made track, what we have is a set of challenges that have been already defined by our rich data providers according with the needs they have detected in the market. And then under the last track, the free choice option, and a small and medium enterprise or the startup will apply together with their own data provider. At least we need one data provider, and they will jointly propose a novel challenge regarding a data value chain to be solved. Okay, so what if I have selected the theme-driven track, the first one, okay, the first option. The first thing is to choose the data value chain theme and a challenge within its theme, okay? You have here in the REACH website a description of all the themes which are available for this second open call. We have also provided you with some data sets that you could be using to approach these challenges. They are available in the REACH data catalog, or even we give you the opportunity to use the data sets you bring. These data sets can be data sets you own, you can be bringing your data provider, or you can even use open data, okay? You will find around. Well, very important here is that it's not always necessary to use a combination of data sets to demonstrate the DVC in the experimentation, but we want to give you this option, okay? And another, another important thing is that 50% of the applicants that we will select for this track will be using datasets from the data catalog. Okay, then for the second track, ready-made. The first thing you have to do is to select a challenge from the REACH catalog. They are available in the following link, okay? And as you will see, all the challenges are specific. So please don't get out of these challenges because the data providers are very interested in solutions or technology to be solving these problems, okay? The problems they have. The use of different sectors or files to create these cross-sectoral data value chains is encouraged. And in particular, you are encouraged to combine the data sets available in the data catalog with others from other sectors. For example, open data or whatever. At this stage, we are only giving you access to the simple data, but not to the full data sets. You will be having the full access of the data set only if you are selected and you enter the incubation. Okay, in this case, at least 20% of the selected experiments will be cross-sector. Okay, and the last way of participation, which is track 3, the free choice. Here, as I said, we don't have predefined anything. You are encouraged to define novel DVCs by bringing your own data provider. So here you will be applying together with your own data provider, and at least we need one. Okay, you will be proposing a joint challenge with the data provider to be solved, okay? And very important here is that the data provider must be the owner of the data. If you apply to this track together with the application form, it will be necessary to complete a form for the data provider where they answer some questions about the property of the data, type of data, GDPR, and so on. So applicants here in this track are encouraged to combine data sets from different sectors. You can use data sets provided by the data provider you are bringing to the project, or you can also use some data sets available in our data catalog, or even you can use some other external data sets which are not included in our data catalog. But please, very important that the applicant has the access in processing the rights to the data, okay? And it's very important too that you have the permissions to include them in a commercial solution. And in this case, only 10% of the selected experiments will be cross-sector. Okay, so what if I bring my own data provider? This is an option that we have in track 1 and track 3, okay? And the first thing is to register the data provider in the application form. As I said, there is a specific form for the data provider, which is linked to the application form that the small and medium enterprise or the startup is going to fulfill. Then it's very important to take into account that along the months of February, March, which is when the evaluation is going to be conducted, the data provider has to sign a memorandum of understanding. Then if the startup enters the incubation, the data provider is committing to participate in some meetings and events related to the project, where companies present their solutions, and so on. Okay, this is a summary with some considerations to take into account. For the theme-driven, we are expecting to have a maximum of 40% of the proposals, the same for the ready-made. And then at the free choice option, we will want to evaluate and to select, 20% of the proposals, okay? And as we have been highlighting, we are giving a lot of value to this cross-sectorial experiment. So to prioritize these DVCs, we expect that at least 40% of the total selected proposals will have to combine a data set from at least 2 different sectors. Okay, so then once you have read the guidelines, check the frequent asked questions and select the way to apply, what is next? The next thing is to submit the proposal at the F6S platform and complete the information in the proposal. Important, the submission of the proposal has to be done before February 22nd. Okay, proposal preparation. So what is this about? There are 3 main points that we have to consider. First, we have an online form that needs to be submitted to the F6S platform. It's short, but we need you to take some time to duly complete it. And for that, it's necessary that you register in the platform and go through the different sections. In the application form, you will see that there are some sections. There is a section for the challenge. There is also a section for the technical propose. And within the section of the technical propose, there is an Excel file where we are asking information about the company and some financial data, okay? It's mandatory to complete this Excel document and upload it again. Please don't forget to submit this document as it's very important for us to have this data. And last, there is also a section for the team, okay, where you will have the opportunity to present the people behind the proposal. And there is some administrative staff section where you have the information regarding the company VAT number and some other legal data. Okay, and then second, there is also a declaration of honor. It's easily completed in the application form. And in this declaration, you are basically saying that you fulfill the criteria to participate and that you declare your company as a startup or small or medium enterprise. And the last one, the third thing, is that it's only applicable when you are bringing your own data provider, okay? Track 1 and track 3. It's mandatory to complete the data provider form. That's it. Okay, eligibility. Here, I'm eligible to participate. Okay, so being eligible means that you can be legally selected to be part of the incubation program. You may have a great technical proposal, but if you don't comply with the rules of the eligibility criteria, we will not be able to find you. Okay, we are sorry for that, but it's very, very important and it's crucial. Okay, so this is why why it's very important that you make sure you comply with all the criteria. Okay, now we will go through over each of the eligibility criteria. The first thing is that proposals must be submitted in English. This is the official language and there is no other option. Secondly, this is a program to address startups and small and medium enterprises. So we cannot fund individuals or large companies. The third thing is that these companies need to be established in eligible countries in Europe, being them the member states of the European Union, overseas countries and territories, and some Horizon 2020 or Europe associated countries, the UK is also eligible, okay, for this open call. Also, in the guidelines, we include some links where you can double check about your eligibility regarding the establishment of your company. We are looking for original work and innovative one, so please do not copy paste. And it's also important to use datasets in our data catalog, okay, and also associated to our challenges. But also, you are also open to, as we have said before, to complete the use of this dataset with some other from other sources, okay? It's important to justify the selected challenge. Another important thing is that there is a sibling project, the I4Trust project, sorry, and we will need to double check with them if the proposals have not been funded by them, because it's not possible to be funding the same proposals for this project. Another important thing is that it's not possible to have multiple submissions from the same company, so only one proposal per applicant will be evaluated. In that case, is that we have multiple submissions, only the proposal submitted by this company, the last proposal submitted by the company will be evaluated, okay? The rest will be declared as not eligible, so this is important. The use of data tools is required also in the project, and then important, please fill in the proposal with valid information at the F6S platform. Okay, evaluation and results. In the evaluation, the first thing we do is with the proposals is to check the eligibility, and only those proposals that are eligible will enter the evaluation. Then attraction indicators control is conducted. So based on your answers given in the F6S platform, we automatically sort the proposals following our internal red flags. These red flags are not public now. They will be public after the third and last call of proposals, okay? These red flags are set according to the applicant profile, and depending on if you are an early stage company or established company, they are different. Then once we have selected the proposals that are eligible and the traction control is done, we proceed to the remote evaluation. Okay, for this process, we count with external evaluators. They are experts in big data and technical files. And we have also experts in business, okay? And then very important, it's mandatory to have at least 3 points on each criteria and at least 12 in total. The opinion of the data provider not being decisive it's important, okay? Because with their opinion, we can see if the proposal fits or not with the challenge they have proposed. As the participants will have to work in hand with them, okay, in the development of the solution, and they establish future commercial relationships. So it's important, okay? Okay, and then the final steps, there will be a ranking list with 40 proposals, where 30 of them will be funded and 10 will be in a reserve list. All of you will receive an evaluation summary result with the results, either an invitation to the incubation or rejection letter. Important, we will be using the email of the contact person you indicate in the application form, okay? So please make sure that that person checks the inbox, okay? Okay, this is the open call timeline. February 22nd, okay, the deadline for submission of proposals. In March, the communication of results. March, April, we have to work on the preparation of the grant agreement and the negotiation. And April, the Reach Explore kickoff meeting will take place. So that's all. Applications are open and you can apply now. That's all. Thank you very much for your time.
Awesome, Leila, thank you. This was very beneficial. The questions are coming in, so please bear with us. We'll answer them in the Q&A session at the end. So moving on, David, please take over and present to us the REACH toolbox.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you and see you.
Right.
And the presentation.
All right. So thank you for your attendance. I'm going to present as part of the REACH project Incubator, the toolbox that is made available to the selected startup, and that is aimed to support you in your data-driven products developments. So we've organized with a set of partners
David,
from the project
we
series of tools to facilitate your life in the areas of privacy, security, robustness.
David, we see your presenter
tell me.
slides. So if you can make it larger, or just share the presenting slide. And your internet seems to be a little weak.
Does that work better?
Well, yes, now we see the whole thing.
All right, so I was saying that as part of the REACH Incubator, we are providing a toolbox that is made of 8 tools available to the startups, the selected startups, so to facilitate their developments and to accelerate their developments. The tools are about technologies to facilitate privacy, security, robustness of your developments, regulatory conformance overall as you're dealing with data, and they made available some of the deep techs, in particular the blockchain. So the tools are organized in 3 major functional areas. We have tools for privacy enhancing, for protecting data flows, guaranteeing privacy and confidentiality depending on the data and the nature of data that you're processing. We have tools for data governance and using smart contracts over a blockchain for building your privacy policies and helping organizing your digital ecosystem, and tools for trusted data sharing and auditing so that you have full traceability over data exchanges in your digital ecosystem. So the point with the toolbox is to support you in your developments and help you with accelerating those by providing non-functional related tools to address regulatory conformance mainly. So the tools are easily accessible. They will be made available online via simple and standard REST-like APIs. That is to make sure that you can access the tools without having to deploy, configure anything complicated, and that you can eventually integrate the tools into your own applications. The tools will be online ready with all the documentation and the demo user accounts and sample trials by the end of March this year. The documentation will provide you with simple examples to go through and to request for a proper demo account in a development environment so you can quickly get started with them. It is important to say that the tools are available for free. There's no licenses, nothing. It is just there to facilitate your developments, and as part of the REACH Incubator will be made available, and you will receive support from the concerned partners for accessing those without any charges. The 3 partners in charge that are supporting those tools are CEA, the French Research Center, CERT that was mentioned earlier in the introductory presentation, and our company Gnubila, now called BeWise Research. You have on this slide all of the contact details so to get more information or ask any questions. So as I said, the tools are organized in 3 major functional areas. For each of these, we have a set of tools, business enhancing and data governance and smart contracts, which are called Anonymizer and Pro Register. CEA is providing 3 of the tools in privacy enhancing with from a C, and trusted data sharing and auditing with Max and Y3. And CERT is providing 3 tools that are blockchain based for the data governance and smart contracts. Just an example, actually 2 examples of the tools you may find in the toolbox so that you have a concrete feel on what's being provided. Anonymizer is one of the tools we are providing as part of the privacy enhancing technologies. It is a smart data masking solution for anonymization, pseudonymization, minimization, and re-identification of data. It is using artificial intelligence to help with sensitivity assessment and de-identification, preparing your data and making it conforming to GDPR. A second example is ProRegister, that is a blockchain-based tool for producing a GDPR registry. So it is an automated registry that helps you with registering data and processing. And based on the data and processing information, you can get on-demand audit trails exports. And later on, you will have access to GDPR smart contracts for individual rights execution. So I hope this presentation is clear and that you get a concrete feel on the tools that you will find in the REACH toolbox. And I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, David. This was informative. As David and we said, please reach out to email over email if you have additional questions with anything regarding this. So moving on, let's invite Maria from EDP to present EDP and their challenge. So yeah, hi Maria. We can see your screen.
Hello, Nuno Esquivel will start.
Hi there, I'm Nuno Esquivel and I'm part of the team, okay?
Oh,
so, yeah, thank you. So I'm gonna speak a little bit about our agenda for the presentation and giving a little bit about the context of EDP Comercial, the market and the growth that we have been experiencing in our segment. And then Maria is gonna explain the challenge itself. And for last, Ernesto is going to speak a little bit about EDP Starter, okay? So, first of all, EDP Comercial. We are EDP Comercial, a company that belongs to the EDP Group, which has a lot of other companies that operate in different fronts of the energy business. We are the ones that provide client services, the ones more connected to the end user, let's say. We are present in B2C and B2B markets, and we operate in the free market. Our team, of course, is in the B2B market. We evolved from solely energy contracts company to also a energy provider efficiency service. Our goal is to continue to innovate, grow our portfolio, and reach. The market that we operate continues to change in both fronts. The consumers are changing behaviors and the market prices are a constant change due to the free market in production of electricity and of course the energy transition wave, okay? On the other side, we can see an increasingly rise in interest in the market of energy efficiency with more players coming in. So our segments. our team operates in the segment of small and medium enterprises, and they will be the subject of this project, okay? We have been experiencing an exponential growth in market share, and it's now increasingly important to work on our data in order to predict behaviors and make decisions in the right direction. And this is the challenge that Maria is going to now explain a little bit more about. Maria?
Thank you, Nuno. I will now focus on the challenge and on the main objectives. Regarding our challenge, the main purpose of this application is to improve our ability to give value to our data and transform them in intelligence to take better decisions. You can go on. The challenge we are presenting you today is a predictive model for 3 main occasions: predict which customers are more likely to sign an energy contract, predict which customers are more likely to sign a service contract, and predict which customers are more prone to churn. After developing this model, what do you expect to do in the future? The final goal is to automate this intelligence and integrate it in our marketing and customer management systems, so the predictive decisions of the models are part of our team's daily decisions. Can go on. In order to give you the full picture of our clients, we will provide you data about opportunities, that is, opportunities to contact potential future clients, proposals made to our clients, acquisition contracts, requests made by our clients, billing and debt information, and finally, data about when we left our company, that is, churn information. Can go on. Now Ernesto will talk about innovation in EDP. Sorry.
Thanks, Maria. I just want to share with you some comments about how EDP is facing digitalization and innovation to lead the energy transition. So in terms of digitalization, we have the goal of invest up to 1 billion euros in the coming years to have more than 90% of our process digitalization, and to digitalize all the activities that we consider that could be susceptible to do that. So we are going to have more than 1,000 people involved in this kind of projects in the short term. And in terms of innovation, as you can imagine, we at EDP, we are a multinational with all the value chain of the energy sector. So we have interest in different topics as renewable energy, hydrogen, mobility, and how we face the challenge is we have the typical core project with great investment and great teams involved in this development. But here I would like to share with you how EDP is collaborating with the startup ecosystem. So we have a unit called EDP Started with the mission of connect with the best startup worldwide to try new projects, new services, new technology that can add value to our business. We run some internal acceleration program, or we are involved with external providers to connect with those startup. And in the past, we can say that in the past 5 years, we have run more than 70 proof of concept with more than 20 million in rollouts. And of course, at the end of the process, we have a corporate venture capital vehicle to invest in startups. We have already invested more than 45 million in startup worldwide. We have investment in the United States, in Europe, South America, Asia. So what we want to show you here is that encourage you to apply to this challenge, because we have a global approach here. You can see the EDP Starter team around the world, people in Spain, Portugal, Brazil, the United States. So it's very usual for us to work with a startup, with small players. So I think it's a great opportunity to build something together, thinking in the future. And that is all. It's a company with a strong commitment with innovation and a strong belief in open innovation to collaborate with the startup and small players. That's all from my side.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. So everyone, as you can see, EDP is a great opportunity, and we hope all of our data providers are engaging as them and prove a long-term strategy opportunity for the selected startups. So moving on, I invite Yanis from RTU to present their DVC team as the one of the digital innovation hubs in the project. Yanis, we can see your screen. We can't hear you.
Okay.
Just black screen?
Yes. So sorry.
No
Okay,
problem.
no, it should be fine.
There we go.
Yeah, so I'm representing Riga Technical University Digital Innovation Hub, and basically our mission is to transfer technology to the industry in the area of information technology. And our main areas of specialization are enterprise integration, development of scalable cloud solutions for big data processing, artificial intelligence solutions, modeling and optimization of complex systems, also development of digital twins and digital transformation of organizations. So one of the projects that we are also working in parallel is related to data ecosystems, and also that's one of the main reasons we were interested in joining Reach. And currently we've built also a data anonymization tool, but this one is using pictures and video files, and we're trying to kind of blur the number plates and faces. Why are we doing this? Basically, this would allow to open such data, which is currently closed due to GDPR risks, because if we would identify a person in the videos, and there might be some consequences to that. And we also installed this solution already in the Riga municipality, and also we're working on installing it in Latvian state roads. So that's also somehow maybe related to what Reach is doing. But more about the challenge which we provide for the Reach project, and this is related to predicting the heating demand. So we want to optimize heat production and distribution for public venues in cold weather municipalities, which experience sporadic local and external demand. So basically, what is happening now is that this decisions about how to organize heating are taken kind of locally based on very local, basically data silos, and they are not having full context information about what might affect this heating, such as is even the public venue operating now, maybe it's close to some COVID risks or so on and so on. So what we want to achieve is to create a system which knows both the context data which comes from external data sources, and also of course the internal data which comes from the heating provider. So that's pretty much the challenge that we propose. And the solution should be able to do at least some of the things that I've listed here. For example, forecasts the total heating consumption, also heating demand for individual points in the distribution network, and the dynamic plan for heating production. Of course, eventually this would lead to increased customer satisfaction and would help in strategic planning of the heating network for the heating service provider. So we've identified the potential data sources, but of course there could potentially be even more of them. And so we have the sensory data from heat production and distribution facilities, sensory data from heating network clients like their building management systems and heating management systems, which are local, meteorological data, public event calendar, and of course, spatial data as well. And so why we joined REACH? So we have a network of organizations which we are trying to support in digitalization. And of course, they're looking for opportunities to test and implement some novel ideas. However, they often lack the required competencies and funding. And we saw the REACH Incubator as a way to achieve this, since you provide funding and also tools, as you mentioned earlier. Also, yeah, you're working on earlier. That is also something that we like to do and are working on as of now. So what can the startups expect from us if they choose this challenge? Of course, we have real organizations which we have interviewed previously, and they have expressed their interest in such solution. So also we will assist in the communication with the data owners and potential end users of the solution. And of course, we would also be willing to help the startup with our experience in building scalable big data solutions and digital twins. And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you.
Great, awesome, thanks. So as you see, this is another way to approach REACH, and definitely another strategic approach for a long-term collaboration on opportunities in a different region and a different sector. So now let me take over screen sharing. So the final thing before we jump into the Q&A. So REACH Incubator has been running for over a year now, and we look to conduct an analysis of the key players in the data industry and the key people that are dealing with the latest innovations in Europe. So if I may ask you for literally 5 to 7 minutes of your time, maybe after this meeting, please help us out with sharing some of your thoughts. This will greatly help us in understanding the data industry, and even help us in crafting the future programs and our even enhancing our value proposition to you guys. So please, for you, it's 5 minutes. For us, it's a great deal of knowledge sourcing from the latest innovators in Europe. So if you don't mind, please complete the survey and help us out greatly. So yeah. All right, so let's move to Q&A. The chat is available for everyone. Any topics are okay. We'll address the questions one by one. I'll read them out loud, and the partners who are in the call will help me answer them. So let's see. First question by, well, I think this one was answered. Vicente, can stakeholders staff be part of the applicant's team, or do they have to be completed outside of the team? So I'll take this. So let's start with this. European Commission does not appreciate subcontracting, given that the funding is supposed to go towards the people that have the capacity to complete the proposed solution. So it is up to you to see how you will arrange this, but the team should be somehow part of your organization. Okay. So again, Vicente, taking into account that only the applicant team will receive funding, if you come with an external data provider, they will not be granted. The composition.
This is the answer from Iñaki to Vicente.
Oh,
okay.
sorry, my fault. All right, moving on. why don't we use an EC platform for company eligibility? Isn't it enough to write a PIC number? Well, in our defense, this will take around 200 people to input each of the PIC numbers. However, on the other side, Reach Incubator has its own a way of scoring and eligibility. So this is the way that functions Reach, and I imagine that each of the incubator has its own ways to score eligibility. So please help us out and use the application form and go through the process. So a question from Kata. I think it was different things as for track 1. So you said 50% and track 2, 20% and track 3, 10%. So I think this was later answered by Leire.
Yes, it was a question, I don't know, 20% will be what for track 2? Okay, the answer is for the theme-driven category, we are expecting to have a maximum of 40% of the proposals. Then the same number, 40% of the proposals for the ready-made, the track 2, okay? And then at the free choice track, we are expecting to fund 20% of the proposals. Then, as I said, we are giving a lot of value to the cross-sectorial experiments. So to prioritize the DVC challenge, okay, the DVC, we expect that at least 40% of the total selected proposals have to combine data sets from at least 2 different sectors. Okay, this is what I said in the presentation.
Thank you, Leila. So next question from Bala. Considering that the applying startup and the main team is based in EU, it is possible to have some teammates from the countries outside of Europe.
Yes, the answer is yes, of course. The important thing regarding the eligibility is the country establishment, okay? That the country is established in a European country.
Thank you. So next question from Fair Analytics. Our startup is not yet created, but we have an MVP. Are we eligible? So I suppose the answer is you need to have an established company for you to be eligible. Yes. Can research centers apply to the call by ATP and Guven later? So research centers, I think an SME is the
yes, if you are a startup or SME, you are eligible to apply, okay, to the open call, you can apply, but you have to demonstrate, okay, that you are an SME. I don't know if this answers your question.
Next question by Ati. I think we kind of answered the question with these topics right now. So eligible countries, this is Horizon Europe countries and the associated countries. In other words, all member states of EU plus the associated countries that have signed with actually H2020 program. So it's on Horizon Europe. We are still under H2020. Next question. So I do see some misunderstanding. Please use the guidance for applicants of the Open Call 2. Not sure how you got to the Open Call 1, as we did definitely update all the documents on the website. So also an opportunity for an exchange with another startup. We do definitely recommend this. Do reach out to the person in the chat if you're interested. Questions, I'm reading the chat and coming up. The equity question still doesn't come clear by Theo. Do you, so that if you mean, we don't take any equities when we fund you, this is a grant. So your equity stays with you. I hope this is what you meant. So moving on. Do we need to use any of the DLT tools presented? So it's not a prerequisite. However, it is suggested and highly recommended. So a question for EDP, would it be possible to get in touch with a member of your team directly? So Manuel, please send us an email to an open call at Reach Incubator. So this one here on the screen, and then we'll direct you and contact you with the EDP to discuss further. And this is available for everyone. However, I do recommend do not wait for the last minute, because you know there's still 1 month to go, but for these things to happen, we would appreciate at least a couple of weeks ahead advance. So, but question by Dennis, in a theme-driven track 1, we should solve the problem and don't need to propose a different idea. Right, so this is both track 1 and track 2. There are challenges on the website. Might as well, sorry, let me show you. So if you go to the website, there are different ways you can go around. So in the open calls here for startups, you can either click on either of these two. The theme driven will take you to a specific page with different themes that have challenges within the teams, for example, here. However, if you want to explore challenges on their own, there's a challenge catalog here. In the challenge catalog, if you read closely, track 1 and track 2 challenges are located. So we have enabled you to filter out your interests, for example, energy, and you see the ones, for example, EDP here. Click on the challenge by EDP, and you have the challenge, the description here. You have the data that is available here. If you click on the data here, it will take you to our data catalog, where you can look into the data available from the challenge. So the data available here is a sample. Here, it's a sample with the details and the full data sets being available to the startups that are selected. So you can also explore all the data sets here in the data catalog. Another way to reach the data catalog is through the resource hub, data catalog here. So again, data providers, data sets, different ones. Give it a go, look into it and see which one feels the best. If they don't feel the best, there's track 3 for you to explore by bringing your own data provider. Hope that answers. Moving on. Track 1, as understood correctly, we can either use our own data or combine it with a data set provided by Reach, but is it not mandatory to have combined data? So what was the 50% related to what Leila was mentioning? So no, I'll take this opportunity and mention.
Yes, I can answer the question. The 50% is referred to the okay, well, it's important, no? Okay, to use a combination of data sets to demonstrate the DBC in the experiments. We want to give this option, but it's not compulsory. Okay, the 50% of the applications of the applicants that will be selected for track 3, okay, will be using the data sets from the data catalog. Is that the percentage you are referring to? Okay.
Yeah. So also in short, do remember this: we are focusing on creation of data value chain. Data value chain is a multi-stakeholder data. So while it's not a prerequisite that you establish a multi-stakeholder data, creating one will definitely give you an advantage because it's something that we focus on. All right, next question. So if we use our own data, do we have to fill the form again by Dennis? So no, you guys need to bring your own data providers, and if you're not targeting one of the two tracks where we have them set up, so if you're bringing your own data, you have to bring your own data provider. In this way, there's no option for you to apply without a data provider. That's the whole goal of Reach, to set you up with a corporation and enable you guys to work, whether it's our corporation or a digital innovation hub, or it is your own. So looking into seeing questions. So okay, there's a specific question for track 1. So as I said, we can help you get in touch with the data provider as a digital innovation hub. So I'm referring to Joseph's question regarding the track 1 challenge. So you said we asked a question to the sponsor about what they are looking for in their challenge, but have not heard back from them. So did you contact them directly, or you went through us? Like I said, please go through us and we'll make sure that you receive your answer, and then you contact them directly. That we put you in contact with them. So yes, you'll receive the presentation by email and the recording. Should we point out the toolbox that we're using in the proposal? Yes, I think there's a question in the application form around this. What tools from the toolbox are you using? So do point that out. It will be beneficial. So what does suggested and highly recommended mean for the tools? Well, there is not a strict evaluation criteria around prioritizing startups using our tools. However, I imagine informally we'll appreciate this and definitely be more interested in reading the application form, if I may say it like that. But to rewind back, there's not a evaluation criteria that will deduct points for not using it. That's what I'm saying. But if you are using it, I imagine people will be a little more keen towards your application. So can we ask for Reach to contact and integrate an EU-based data set? So I'm having difficulty understanding this. Any of the partners understand this? From ATI?
Okay, so this is Cristobal from ITI. So ATI, the question is, can we ask for Reach to contact and integrate a EU-based data set, right?
Yes.
Well, the idea would be that the partners, that the applicants bring the data provider in the proposal. Reach could facilitate the contact, but if the data provider, the set provider is not, for instance, willing to participate for any reason, Reach cannot facilitate that.
Yeah, but also the ATI just texted. I'm thinking about the life cycle project, for example. So it has to be an entity. There's not a strict eligibility criteria. What kind of data provider? How large is it? Is it a corporate? Is it a multinational, huge company, or an SME? However, it will have to be a registered entity. Hope that answers.
Yes, the idea is that the data sets brought to solve the challenges should be representative in order to build a data value chain on which there is shown how the data is being processed among different stakeholders, and the different stakeholders extract value from the data value chain. But
Right,
anyway, Ati, if you have more, you would like to explain that, I think it would be better by email.
So do reach out via email if you have particular things, and we can take it from there. So next question by Vicente about stakeholders. Do we need to name them, describe the benefits for them in terms of revenues? If they're not members of the team, can we present all? Well, I first recommend looking into the application form. So there are specific questions about, well, both the team members as well as the tool and the data providers. So I think the application form will show you what you need to do in particularly. If you have questions, please reach out and we'll more than happy to clarify them. So from Vicente, again, I'm not understanding the stakeholders from Iñaki, as it's different question from me and him. I'll move on, so please repeat it and I will reach to that. So I definitely see that you guys have been connecting. This is really amazing to see. It's explore potential to well, even create data value chains among yourselves. In addition to the data providers, this will be something definitely nice to see. So can a consortium apply or a single entity? Later? Or Iñaki? So basically a single entity applies. The data provider signs the memorandum of understanding. So there are two of you, or if there are multiple stakeholders involved, I think the data providers just sign the memorandum of understanding. The rest, there's no room for well, a consortium and partnership in that kind of sense, but we do definitely leave room for a creation of such a thing. But how can I put this? A contract is signed with one person or one company. I think that answers the question. Later, got anything to add?
Yeah, Alex, you're right. You're right. I mean, the funding is going to only one applicant or one SME with one VAT. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
that's the idea. Yeah, that's the idea. The only a legal entity will be the beneficiary, but the legal entity, the applicant, is free to establish collaboration with other partners if they wish, if they would like. But the beneficiary is only a single entity, which is a SME or startup.
Vicente, do turn on your microphone and please ask the question again. It seems like there's a misunderstanding.
Yeah, good morning. I think Cristobal has more or less replied in the same way as Iñaki did. So basically what I understand is that, yeah, there is just one beneficiary, which is the applicant, basically. But in the team, you can include other partners that are providing some, you know, in this case, my question was about the stakeholders, because they are experts in some things we are not, and they are complementary to the team.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, I hope you understood Cristobal and Iñaki, and this answers your question, right?
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, that's the idea. So the applicant is a single entity, and in the team of the applicant, you could include other stakeholders or collaborators that could support the company in doing the challenge proposed. And then if selected and getting the funds, the applicant is free to use these funds in order to solve appropriately the challenge. but the responsibility would be solely only for the applicant.
Yeah. Sorry, just on this one, this means I cannot subcontract other parts, right? I need to deliver this all with my own resources. Oh.
Well, I will let Iñaki or later for that, but my understanding on that is that as a company, you can do with your own funds to do that. But you don't need to indicate if you are going to subcontract or not, because you will be free to use the grant in order to accomplish the goals of your challenge.
Yeah. So without trying to complicate this, I do want to slightly say this in another way. There needs to be a clear understanding of the relationship between the team members and the company, because if there isn't, the lack of capacity in a way is questionable. And everyone can subcontract external people, but we wonder, what is your relationship, and why does this team deserve to be funded, and can they bring the innovation to the light? So again, it's a little tricky because we're not going to look into your timesheets, we're not going to look into your salaries paid and your expenses. However, through the application form, if we see your description that your team is built out of these people, and we check them out on LinkedIn, and you see they're not connected to your company, this will definitely be a question mark for the evaluator.
Sorry, but if there is a collaboration contract or something like that?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that should be fine.
Okay.
So there's a question from Kata. During the different stages, we receive support from the entity that is in charge of the challenge. For example, for district heating, we would receive support from RTU to develop the solution. So let's go back to the timeline. All right, so in this phase, when you get selected to develop and pilot the program, pilot the solution, and work hand in hand with the data provider, you receive a mentorship. Well, you meet up with the data provider and you discuss the little details about that. However, while being here, you receive webinars from us, you receive mentorships, you receive trainings, you receive a lot of different things that is a part of the incubation program from all of these organizations together in their own respect, in their own regard. So it's definitely a valuable program that multiple organizations contribute. All right. A question from Ati: how is IP handled? Good question. Thank you for this. So IP stays with you, basically, as well as data stays with the data provider. We don't meddle with this. We don't ask for equity. We don't ask for exploitation rights, nor does the data provider. However, at the end of the program, unless you make a deal with the data provider or whatever your strategy is for in the future, your solution stays with you. However, the data stays with the data provider. So it's up to you. There's room for any kind of conversation and opportunity for you guys to take further. And we're very mindful of your know-how, of your IP, of your solutions. So the question, so they don't ask for IP based on the fact that they provide data. So, well, you developed the solution is yours. However, the solution is based slightly on the data of the data provider, but there's in the IP, there's clear distinction between the two. I hope I'm answering this correctly, and if any of the partners want to jump in. Okay. So anyone else? I think we're reaching the limit of the webinar. Awesome. Well, guys, it was great. I'm really pleased that we had such a great